Silverback gorillas, September 13th to 14th, 2015. I flew 4 legs to ultimately finish the flying portion of my trip in Kigali, Rwanda. The first 3 legs were from Lake Manyara to Kokotende, to a private strip on the Mara River, and then to Mwanza, where we had to go through immigration to exit Tanzania. And finally, one last leg to Kigali. It took all day. Zebra. The first stop is Kokotende, where we drop off David, whom I met on the flight, a professional photographer from South Africa, who was there to do a photo shoot for the world travel magazine Condé Nast. Second stop, private reserve airstrip on the Mara River. Lake Victoria. Third stop, Mwanza Airport and exit immigration. After about 30 minutes, we were through customs and on our way. Fourth stop, Kigali, Rwanda, finally. After arriving at the airport in Kigali, I'm picked up and I start the 3-hour drive to the Bamboo Gorilla Lodge, through Kigali and the outskirts of town, into the mountains, past Ruangeri, now called Musanze.
It used to be called Ruhengeri.
But they call it Musanze now?
Now it's called Musanze.
To the resort. Nice fire. And a well-deserved beer. Next morning, Monday, September 14th, today I climb into the Virunga Mountains in hopes of encountering the silverback gorilla.
Group, and what you are calling silverbacks, it's a sign of maturity to any gorilla male. The gorillas therefore is covered by the fur, which is black, but when come 12 years, the back of the gorilla male becomes white.
About a 20-minute ride to the beginning of the trail we will hike today up into the jungle. We start the upward trek just outside of a small farming village. Pyrethrum, a white flower natural insecticide, is one of the products grown in large quantities on these cultivated hillsides. Eucalyptus trees are planted because they are fast growing and provide firewood for cooking and heating. Our guide here explains that gorillas like to eat the bark, and sometimes, not often, they will leave the park and wander down to chew on the bark.
It's not a main diet that will make them come outside, but in case they are moving outside, all of a sudden they come across this one, they peel off that bark, then they eat. But this is my trappers tree here.
habaho ubusobanuro.
Looking back, it is a beautiful sight of the valley and the Virunga Mountains. This is where Diane Fossey made her name.
Now I told you the way our work is organized, we always send a team of trackers to find the gorillas. They have already found the gorillas, so that's one step is done. So we are going to make sure the gorillas are. Now when you meet those trackers, I will get a place for you. We'll be organizing our cameras, as we will not take everything with us in the gorillas. Like the sticks, we leave them behind and we leave our bags. Because when come to gorillas, having the sticks, the bags, the cameras, all those movements keep on doing, it makes some of them to get a bit, especially those babies, to keep on running away from us. But then it can make others to develop a sign of aggression. And we are going to stay 1 hour with them. The reason to this is we track these gorillas on a daily basis. So this is meant to reduce the stress and the disease they can give the gorillas. A group is visited once a day. So for today we are the honor to visit this group. We stay 1 hour with them, and that's why there is a maximum. We don't take more than 8 people in a group.
We enter the Parc des Volcans through a rock fence which separates the jungle from the farmers and their farms. After about 3 hours of trekking up and into the mountain jungle, we find them. Seeing these animals in their natural habitat was truly one of those once-in-a-lifetime events, indescribable and emotional. This is Ubumwe, the silverback leader of the Amaora group.
Let's see. Can I give you a hand to this man?
Sure, sure.
Naambienga chief yari sindanga yakomeza kukiga.
Oh, sorry. She gives him a kiss. She is making a bed. They use leaves and stack them up for a place to sleep.
Can you do that? You go straight. Come direct. Sit down.
Every time the sun would come out, they would roll over, soak it in, and fall asleep. His eyelids are getting heavy. Mother and infant in blissful sleep. What an incredibly beautiful sight. We have reached our 1 hour limit with these marvelous creatures, so we head back down the mountain. First, Francis made a path for us with his machete through the jungle to get back to the trail.
What's the name of this mountain? What are we on?
Actually, since we're not in the mountain, we are between two mountains.
Okay.
This one is Bisoke. On the left there is Karisimbi.
Oh,
So we are between Karisoke. So we are between Karisimbi and the Bisoke mountain.
well, that's where Karasoke was, right in here.
Karisoke was between these two mountains.
Yeah.
That's where the emphasis. But Karisoke is still in the research center. It is still working. But the names come from these two mountains.
Not right here, no. In the area.
First four letters Kari, then Bisoke, the last four Soke, created Karisoke Research Center. This name was created by Dan Fossey after finding herself between two mountains.
Well, after reading all the books I've read, being in between those two mountains is très magnifique.
I thought the trek down would be easier, but if it was easier, I had a hard time recognizing the easy part. We exit the park to a wonderful view of the mountains. potato is another product they produce in huge quantities on their farms. Finally, we are back in the little farming village, and after I buy a small gorilla souvenir, Robert takes me back to the lodge. Once I'm back at the lodge, I spend the afternoon reading my book on the incredible adventures of Stanley and Livingston. Later, I'm entertained with some inspiring native singing and dancing before I go to bed. Next morning, I start my long journey home. One last look at Mount Sabieno, leaving the wonderful The Bamboo Lodge and their marvelous hospitality. Through the mountain countryside, into Kigali, onto the airplane, and off I head on my way home. This concludes my trilogy quest in Africa. I had an incredible grinding inside me to get in the water with the great white sharks, watch the unbelievable spectacle of the Great Migration, and feel the sensory explosion of a silverback gorilla within inches of me. So, I contacted Oddly Travel. They had done such a marvelous job on my trip earlier in the year to India and Borneo. On this trip, I worked with Donna, told her what I wanted, and she did one fabulous job. I gave her my requests, and she took each piece of fabric and sewed it together to make one incredible tapestry of a journey. I enjoyed my pursuit of my Africa trilogy, and then enjoy it even more now each day as I work with my photos and videos.